How to bounce back after a failed IVF cycle. IVF can be a ray of hope when you've been trying for a child for a long time. So you go in with your eyes wide open and your hopes high, and you follow your doctor's advice in the hopes of becoming pregnant. Then something unexpected occurs. Your IVF cycle fails. You're heartbroken, your hopes dashed, and you're confused what to do next. If this has been your experience, you should know that this is not the end of the world. A failed IVF cycle does not rule out the possibility of a second attempt. There is still hope for you. It's critical to comprehend the causes for your IVF cycle's failure. First and foremost, you must recognize that the chances of getting pregnant after one embryo transfers are only about 40 to 50%. Dr. Malpani adds, as a result, we need to look at the cumulative pregnancy rate, which is about 87.5% after 3 transfers. But what happens if all 3 attempts are unsuccessful? Poor embryo quality or chromosomal incompetency of the embryos, according to Dr. Malpani, could be the culprits. Other variables could be at play as well, such as weight gain, an unhealthy lifestyle, a damaged uterus lining, and/or anomalies in the endometrium embryo interaction. This is what you should do as soon as a cycle fails. Dr. Malpani advises that before attempting another IVF round, you have a thorough chat with your fertility specialist to figure out why your first cycle failed in the first place. It's critical to understand whether the causes are recurrent and if they can be corrected, as well as what changes need to be made before and during the second IVF cycle. Aside from understanding the causes and learning how to make your second attempt more successful, it's also crucial to talk to your doctor about realistic expectations and know how likely you are to get pregnant after your next cycle. While it may appear that a second IVF try is a no-brainer, Dr. Malpani advises that you bear the following 3 points in mind. Whether or if another IVF cycle is clinically indicated, your psychological and emotional readiness, the financial consequences of another IVF treatment. We have to recognize that repetition is the key to success when it comes to IVF. Dr. Malpani explains, so we really have to look at that cumulative number of 87.5% at the end of 3 embryo transfers. However, there are a number of criteria that influence how many IVF rounds you and your partner are qualified for. We need a good number of embryos from a good number of eggs obtained from a single IVF cycle for repeated embryo transfers. He adds, adding that if we have a good number of embryos from a good number of eggs received from a single IVF cycle, then even one cycle can be enough. So from a medical standpoint, you can have as many IVF cycles as there are healthy embryos. There is no maximum limit to this amount, according to Dr. Malpani, who emphasizes that the couple's patience, mental fortitude, and financial situation are the driving forces for future cycles. Try not to make these mistakes before starting the following cycle. There is no doubt that IVF failure can be heartbreaking. However, if you have taken the bold step of starting a new cycle, it's critical to get things right and avoid certain typical blunders, such as don't do too much research on IVF. It's understandable to delve deep into the world of internet to learn more about IVF. However, obsessing about what Google says about success rates, pregnancy techniques, and so on isn't going to help. Google cannot substitute a doctor, says Dr. Malpani. However, it may provide you with undesired information about your medical state, causing concern, and anxiousness isn't conducive to IVF success. Rather than spending time on Dr. Google, go to www.drmalpani.com for genuine, trustworthy advice from an IVF expert. Don't go to bed after an IVF cycle. According to Dr. Malpani, taking bed rest after an IVF operation is completely unjustified. You see, when you walk around, you provide a good blood supply to all of your organs. This blood flow is also critical for the uterus, particularly during embryo implantation. It's critical to stay physically active following an IVF round. Contrary to popular assumption, total bed rest during a cycle might result in life-threatening problems such as blood clots and embolism. Choose your doctor and clinic wisely. A failed IVF cycle may cause you to question your doctor's and clinic's qualifications, prompting you to seek a new doctor and clinic. And there's nothing wrong with it if you choose someone with the necessary experience. Find a doctor with the necessary qualifications and experience with infertility who is affiliated with a reputable IVF clinic with a high success rate, advises Dr. Malpani. If you decide to change clinics and doctors, keep all of your reports because they will include a wealth of information for your second IVF cycle. Finally, keep in mind, science has advanced by leaps and bounds in the 4 decades since IVF was introduced. As a result, you have nothing to be concerned about. IVF is very safe and there is no need to be concerned. IVF has resulted in the birth of millions of infants around the world, all of whom are as healthy as those born spontaneously. Dr. Malpani says you only need to have reasonable expectations and see your doctor about the next steps for you. Need help in getting pregnant? Please send your medical details by filling in the form at www.drmalpani.com/free second opinion so that we can guide you.